this one? Peachy Mimosa Twist?
Peachy Mimosa Twist.
Hard. Is it on?
Yeah. We'll here sit down and act like we're...
Hello, welcome
Check,
back.
check, 1, 2.
Check, 1, 2. Testing. Fentanyl Finkerdoodle.
Albert Fent.
Albert Fent. Elmer Fent.
Okay. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite swim bait podcast, Scales and Tails.
Holy cow. Wait a second.
I don't know episode what.
This isn't a Scales and Tails.
And Bass and Bums.
This is a secret. This is special collab.
Secret, yeah.
Only going up. Actually, no, it's going up.
It's going up.
It's going both. It's
You guys will be listening to this tomorrow. We're recording this on Sunday. But Scales and Tails, Bass and Bums collab. I guess, have we explained?
No.
I think
we talked about it, but we talked about it in like a different... We had different ideas for this. Yes. And now it's finally come to fruition. So if you guys are watching this on my YouTube channel, this is the Bass and Bums podcast. This is the Bass and Bums S&T collab episode.
Collaboration.
Finally, we've been waiting for this one. So this is basically going to be Bass and Bums is my podcast, quote unquote talk show, whatever you want to call it. All right, and Scales and Tails is Adrian's podcast. So if you guys don't know who Adrian is, this is Adrian from Scales and Tails. He creates the zine. There's some zines back here on the wall. Look at that. If you can see them. And then if you're listening to this from Adrian's podcast, Scales and Tails, you already know who Adrian is. And you know
who Marshall is. So.
I would hope so, maybe. I've been on about 47 times now. So this is going to be the collab episode. This will be available on my YouTube channel and also on Spotify, on Adrian's, and everything else, whatever else platform.
If you guys are like watching this, you'll be watching it on Marshall's channel. If you're listening to it, it'll either be on the Scales and Tails YouTube or the Scales and Tails Spotify. So if you guys want to watch it, just wait and go watch Marshall's if you're listening right now, or you can just listen on the Spotify. Because what do you think? You'll upload this Wednesday, maybe?
Probably Wednesday. Yeah. So this will be whatever today is.
Sunday.
11th. Sunday. Yeah. Soon.
You guys will be watching. When you're watching this right now, you're watching it. So.
Yeah.
So, Marshall is up here in the great north, the great Midwest, not in Minnesota, in Michigan for his first time ever.
Insane. And
the weather has not cooperated at all. Today, I'm looking outside right now, looking through the little crack I have through my AC, and it is actually sunny and probably 65, which is most likely the warmest it's been since you've been here.
Which means we should have been recording this yesterday.
Yes, we should have recorded this yesterday.
But we were out in the rain.
Yes, so if you guys watch Marshall's video that he's uploading on Sunday today, you only filmed us getting rained off the lake once.
Yep.
And I think we got rained off 2 or 3 times. So... It was absolutely terrible.
Yeah, it was cold. It was definitely a surprise to go from...
No, they haven't seen that video yet.
No, they won't see that one. That'll be
that'll be the next Sunday.
Next Sunday. Okay. So yeah, they'll see the next Sunday, the rainy day.
Yes.
It was very cold. I was actually incredibly surprised when I got up here because I just left Florida. I was in Florida like 2 days ago, and it was 110 degrees outside, and now I'm up here and it's 65.
It is strangely cold for August. I was not it was warm last week, like 70s, and now it just like plummeted. Like at night, I bet you it's like 50s.
Yeah, last night was cold. Like the night before wasn't too bad. Last night was a little chilly though. It was definitely like upper 50s.
And it rained all day. It was windy as all get out. Yep. I mean, like it had to have been gusts to like 25 or more.
I walk out on the Lake Michigan pier and there's people surfing, like literally surfboarding, and I was like, okay.
And then in the
video,
like
I didn't even leave Florida.
Yeah, in the video you guys watched on this Sunday, there was guys. I don't know if you even videoed it, but they were like
windsurfing
or
kite surfing
with the giant kite on the snowboard or skateboard, the other board, the surfboard.
One of the boards.
That was crazy. I've never actually seen that before, so that was kind of cool. Yeah. But it was weird. Like we went up to this gnome village, as Marshall calls it. But while we were getting up there, we were passing some of these big lakes, and it was like flat calm, like no wind. It was absolutely insane. And then we got up there, and it was like somebody flipped the light switch. It's like right on the coast. So if this is Michigan, it's like right up here, like right on the tip of the pinky, and it's like just getting battered with a western wind. It was.
I'd say that like it was a day that would be a little difficult for me to paddleboard. Just a little bit.
Yeah, mostly probably because you drown. Your paddleboard would take on water somehow. Like it was literally white caps, like 3-foot rollers. It was crazy. We went to a spot.
Well, they're higher than 3 foot because people were surfing.
Yeah,
these were like 6 foot. 6 foot swells.
We had gone. Marshall got up to my place Friday night, and we went to a pier. and they were barreling over the pier. Like that was crazy. Marshall is always like, you should go fish today. I'm like, no, it's too windy. But like Friday, he got to see like when I'm like, I told Marshall, I was like, if you weren't here, I would not have even put a rod in my truck. I would have just stayed home. Like the only reason we came out here was because you were here, and I just didn't want to not go try to catch a fish. But yesterday we fished a spot. We got out of the wind, but the rain had kind of pushed us out a couple times. But the wind kind of started to die down, and we were in a little cove, and it wasn't bad. The only thing is like the fish. I don't know where the fish were. If you guys saw my bowfin cast to catch and my bass cast to catch on my last YouTube video, like there was fish there earlier this week, and I don't know if like the cold like pushed them off or what. Marshall got some bites. He got he got some bites, caught some fish, but for whatever reason, it was not great.
It was not popping off for sure. No. I think it's just the.
Your favorite swing bait podcast is now proudly sponsored by Leviathan Rods. Leviathan Rods is a Texas-based fishing rod company that's handcrafted and uses high-end, made-in-the-USA rod blanks. Every sale from Leviathan helps support foster youth and their families. With Leviathan Rods, you're not only going to feel a difference, but you're going to help make a difference too. Friends of the show will also get 20% off their rod purchases by using code SCALES20 at checkout. So whether you're fishing a depth 250 or a square bill, make sure you're using the best rod choice out there, Leviathan Rods. I've got 3 words for you. Lake Pro Tackle. Lake Pro Tackle has all the gear you need to be ready to have a successful day on the water. Friends of the podcast receive 10% off your orders while using code SCALES at checkout. Checking out with code SCALES not only saves you guys some money, but it also helps me host more giveaways to give back to you guys, the listeners. On their website, you can find exclusive and rare swim baits, JDM and BFS products, and of course, conventional tackle. I can't forget to mention Lake Pro Tackle gets the monthly throwback shop colors at the beginning of every month. Also, orders over $50 get free shipping, including rods. So do me a favor and remember to use code SCALES at checkout to save 10% at lakeprotackle.com. The vast majority of double-digit bass caught in Mexico are caught out of 2 lakes, Lake Bacharach and Lake El Salto. Josh Daniels Pro Bass Adventures is the only outfitter in Mexico with lodges on both of these trophy lakes. With a fleet of Ranger boats at Lake El Salto and Live Scope Plus at Lake Bacharach, Pro Bass Adventures has the best equipped guides and boats in Mexico. Better call Pro Bass, 480-491-9300 or probassadventures.com. We are Mexico Fishing. Staring at that peanut butter jelly like a largemouth bass staring at a dollar store worm? Then it's time to upgrade your snackuation. Meat Crafters' line of handmade small batch pre-sliced salamis and our charcuterie make the perfect base for your weekend snackle box. Fill a Plano 3600 with an assortment of Meat Crafters' old style salami and charcuterie, and you're sure to become the boat ramp champ. Listeners of the show can use code SCALES and SLICES at checkout on meatcrafters.com to save 20% off your cart. The code can be used as many times as you want, so you'll never run out of fuel for your pursuit of giants. So the next time you reach into your fridge to load up your boat cooler, skip to fish food and grab the stack of Meat Crafters pre-sliced packs. They're guaranteed to exceed your PB.
Cold front, dude. That like freaks him out, especially midsummer like this. That's a
with like a random front moving in, like it was crazy.
Yeah, I think even today, honestly, is gonna be tough. Like it looks good, but it's like that post frontal, so like maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't.
The only thing I have confidence in is the sun warming up the water.
Yep. It'll definitely be sunny. They'll definitely be able to see our bait from a million miles away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yesterday was tough. I had a gigantic gator pike follow me in, and that was about the coolest thing that happened for sure. We saw some bowfin.
We saw some bowfin. We attempted to cast at them. Couldn't get any. Like, maybe if we go out and fish this spot we're going to go fish today and it's not good, maybe we pack up and drive 10 miles up north to that same lake and start where we saw the bowfin.
Right.
That might be decent.
We know they're there.
Yeah, we know they're there. It's... Essentially, you have to luck into one. Like, we saw a couple yesterday. I think we saw like 5 or 6. And the first one that I had seen was massive. It was... I don't know if Marshall will have any parts of that because we didn't actually catch any fish during that part of the trip, but like we're literally standing up on our paddle boards overlooking like it wasn't even necessarily a grass flat. It was just like, I don't know, like a scum flat. It was like really weird.
It's like sand and patchy grass.
Yeah. And like you're just looking and like you're scanning and like you can see probably like 20 feet off your board. And, like, you'll be paddling, and you just look, and, like, 3 feet in front of you, there's a bowfin just sitting there.
The fin is like this.
Yeah.
Like,
and you're like
moving all crazy.
I'm like, Marshall, cast in front of me. I didn't have a rod on me. Marshall had the stuff tied down. I was like, dude, cast in front of me. There's one looking at me. And it's just, like, locked in, just, like, staring at you.
I've only caught one bowfin before. I caught one in Florida, and it was like a baby. It was like I don't know. It was a 14-incher probably.
We did see one like right off the rip yesterday that I had Marshall cast. I thought it was a bass, and then it turned and it was only like that big, and I was like, that's the smallest bowfin I've ever seen before. It was like the size of Archie. We have Archie off camera.
Yeah, he's watching.
On his tank. He just tilted his head. On his tank, on my bed with his heat lamp. He's not even soaking up the heat right now.
Yeah, I think he got enough this morning.
He's mobile.
I walked in and he was rounded out, soaking. You see how I got all round? He was like soaking it up.
He's mobile.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Archie can't come on the board today. It's kind of, or maybe today. I don't know. We'll look.
Let's check.
But yesterday was definitely like a no-go. It was cold. I was like, dang.
Little dude was frozen.
Yeah. That's crazy that you can come up here like. And I don't know. I don't feel like I went that far. I mean, I did go far.
I did drive 22 hours.
Yeah, I did drive over 1,000 miles. But it's just strange that I can go from literally 2 days ago and I'm sweating and not even thinking about picking up a hoodie. No chance.
And now you've worn a hoodie.
Dang, dude, I forgot my hoodie.
Marshall forgot his hoodie yesterday fishing. It was bad.
That was unfortunate. It wasn't the worst ever. I've been in
it was like
for sure. But
yesterday's rain was like borderline. Like, you could have stayed out there. Like, if you had a rain jacket, you probably could have stayed out there. Yeah. But, like, Marshall had his big camera. We had our GoPros. And it was just cold. Like, the air temp was cold. And it was just like, oh, man.
And then you're all wet on the paddle.
So then we had to paddle all the way across to the pavilion, throw all our shit in there. The first time we sat in the truck for, like, 25 minutes. Yeah. Got out there. Went out and fished for, like, another 15 minutes, maybe. Oh,
I'm going for the yerb, okay? Is he going to pick this up at all?
Last
time it didn't pick it up.
It should. Oh yeah!
Oh yeah!
Spike.
Crispy. What do we got today? We got peachy mimosa.
Okay, we got to fulfill them. This is Marshall's first caffeine.
Yeah, in like 3 days.
In like 3 days.
I earned this one. Okay, I thought I would get hyped for the podcast.
It's jacked.
It's the low one. It's the 120. So.
120. So. Yeah, we saw some bowfin yesterday. Did not catch them. Marshall saw an absolute massive pike follow. Well. I don't know what you're gonna put in your video, so I don't really want to like talk.
I think I have it on footage eating. I don't know, but we'll you'll see. I mean, we had a big pike come up and like, dude, the head on it was like this wide. It was like a 10-inch wide head. It looked like a muskie. It genuinely looked like a muskie.
It was like one that if Marshall was by himself, like if I was at work or like I was by myself, like you catch this fish and you're like, I have no way to truly document this fish or like do anything with it outside of keep it in my net and like take a picture and say, oh yeah, or try to get it out and it flops off and you're like, oh great.
Yeah, GoPro, take a photo, and then the fish is like shaking around.
It's bitch slapped by a fishtail.
I could have got the photo, but it definitely would have been a lot harder.
And, dude, like, so the spot we were fishing has, like, a bunch of what I'm assuming, like, docks that had broken down. Dude, I was thinking, like, I was going to get off and walk around yesterday. But I was like, could you imagine stepping on a 35-year-old rusty nail in one of those boards in that?
Dude, I didn't even tell you, but whenever I got off the board right there on the little sandy thing, the first time I jumped off and I, like, just kicked my foot down and I landed so close to something big and sharp, like... It was, I don't know, it was like a piece of dock or something. It was like a piece of wood sticking up. And I felt it like graze my toe, and I was like, whoa.
There was a nail sticking up on the dock. Because at one point in time, I ran off the dock, and I like stepped on it with like the palm of my foot, or like the arch, so it like just barely grazed.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I would have actually stepped on that.
There was there's so much junk in that lake. It's crazy that all the debris on the bottom, it was just like, it looked like a bunch of sunken pirate ships.
And it was just like
all over the bottom. Looked like pallets.
The spot we'll go fish today, like it's like an old tugboat or steamboat. You can literally like see it. And I don't know, it's weird. Like the water's so clear and like it preserves everything. Like that wood. Yeah. Dude, that wood looked like it like, dropped in there. I think it's the cold water, dude.
Yeah. I think the fact the water's cold, like it's so weird coming up here and being like, oh yeah, there's structure in 14 foot of water. It's like
that you can see.
But you can see it. You can look down and see it. I'm like, dude, if that was in Texas, you'd have to swim down there and grab it. It would be this close to your face before you could see it. You know what I mean? Like you would literally bump your head on it before you'd even see it, like in the Texas water. You know.
That's crazy.
I love that though. I love coming up here and seeing that crystal clear stuff.
So we fished the Nordic Village yesterday. That's a very cool experience. That's the video you guys will be watching first.
Fish Town.
We fished the lake yesterday. Shit lake. Not even gonna name drop it. And then we're gonna be fishing the lake today. Hopefully we catch some fish. I think we will. If we can find like 12 foot of water and fish zoomer or e-boy
zoom trick worms
or e-boy zoomer brain rot glides, we can probably catch some reactive fish. I feel like even like, dude, if you tie on a jerkbait
Oh, yeah.
You might be able to catch them on a jerk.
Yeah, I didn't want to resort to that, but I'm kind of thinking about it today. I want to get me a nice. I haven't caught a Michigan bass yet. I've been fishing for like 3 days, feels like, and I've caught one pike.
I haven't caught anything,
yeah,
so
it's been a little rough, but it's okay. Michigan, a good Michigan fish is coming.
I feel it. If I would have left that one Monday, that was a very healthy, like 18 and a half inch fish. That one would have been fun to catch.
Right.
I think we can catch one today. This lake has a lot of fish in it. I feel like we'll at least catch one.
It is Lake Michigan, so.
We'll at least catch one fish, whether it's smallmouth or largemouth or something crazy. Could you imagine catching a Cisco? You probably don't even know what a Cisco is.
I don't even know.
A Cisco's like
is it a trout?
It's like a tule. No, it's like a whitefish.
I don't know what that is either.
It's a really weird.
We're too far up north.
It's a really weird fish.
It's weird that even over here in Michigan, which doesn't seem too far from Minnesota,
we have fish that they don't have.
There's so many different fish over here, like all the trout and salmon and whatever all this stuff is. Wild.
It's weird. We've got some crazy fish. Like, does Minnesota have drum?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have drum.
Sheepshead? Or drum, whatever you guys call them up here.
They don't have all the trout. We've got a crap ton of trout. Yeah. All the alewives, gobies, bass.
It's a completely different fishery over here. It's weird. Like, it seems, I don't know, it seems like coming from Texas, you're like, oh, Michigan and Minnesota are like right next to each other. They should be the same. Yeah. They should be the same. No, not even close.
I think it's only because we have Lake Michigan and because it's like a shipping center, so we have a bunch of like invasive species.
There's Rufus.
My parents' dog just tried to budge in here. It didn't work. So fishing a Lake Michigan connected lake today. We should hammer them, knock on wood. I really feel like it's going to be hard not to catch, like I'm going for like 12 fish. I think we can catch a dozen fish today. Between the Q-bomb.
A dozen. Okay, don't say that. That's a lot. That's a lot of fish. I think
I don't think we've had days out there where we catch like 100 fish.
Jesus, yeah, that's like something that doesn't happen.
Dude, like we could no BS. This is your time to catch the world record rock bass. We've caught rock bass on chatterbaits, on 110s.
That's hard. I don't know.
The sunken ship, we can catch some. We can catch some.
I sent you a picture of. Did I send you a picture of that one thing? I think it was a warmouth. It wasn't.
Oh yeah, we have.
Yeah, I sent you that. Right. Yeah. That's different than a rock bass, though, right?
Yeah.
I've never caught a rock bass. I don't think. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I only caught
rock bass are like piss yellow with red eyes.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's like a smallmouth and a crappie body.
I've caught warmouth, and those are like similar, but they're not the same for sure. So that would be a cool one to.
We could probably catch some rock bass, even if it's not at this spot. We could stop at a spot tomorrow and catch a rock bass.
Yeah, that sounds like the
rock bass are like very heavily populated in the river for whatever reason.
I need a rock bass, a northern bowfin. A real authentic bowfin from Michigan, the greatest game fish of all time, and then a smallie out of Lake Michigan would be cool. That would be a cool one.
We should be able to catch one on the Q-bomb today at the spot.
The Q-bomb would go hard.
I feel like we're gonna cover a lot of water today on the paddle boards after this. Like we've got a stretch.
Just like nothing.
Yeah, we've got a stretch of water that we're gonna fish today, and it's gonna be a lot of water. It's like a lot of sand with like isolated rock and weed. Like we used to hammer on drop shots around this area, so I think the Q-bomb are the world's most expensive worm.
Yeah, the world's most expensive worm.
I feel like we're gonna catch some fish.
Yeah, I'm pulling all the stops. I'm dragging a worm. Okay.
Do it.
I'm not throwing a swim bait.
I don't even know where I'm gonna fish today. I was trying to decide that last night when I was laying in bed. I'm like, what am I gonna fish? It's not gonna be the wake walker. Fished that all day yesterday.
Sorry, Kyle.
I'm probably gonna have to fish a Zoomer brain rock glide. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Because like these fish just get so juiced.
Which one?
I don't know.
Which one?
Probably
on the hanger here.
Oh, definitely this one.
No way.
Swim Republic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
The Swim Republic Glideway 176.
I know. Skip.
Yeah.
Old Skipper. He's a big fan.
I'm a big fan
of
too.
That bait.
It's a fun bait.
Yeah, I forgot where I picked one of these up at and talked about it, but kind of cool. I like the weight system.
The weights.
Pull the weights out. That's pretty neat. I just know that Skipper's been like hammering snook on them, and I'm like, dude, if it holds up to a snook, that's pretty dope. That's a testament. These stock hooks?
Yeah, BKKs.
Nice. I like that. I like BKK too.
This color is sick. I can't even remember what color it is. The color in that box down there is sick too. Grab that box.
I actually met the guys. This isn't Swim Bait Republic, but I met Luca and Fabio from Fabio does the stuff for Z-Man, Italy, and then Luca does. He makes his own bait actually.
Oh, does he?
It's a soft bait. Let me show you because you'll know who Luca is, I think.
These are the Halley color. We're gonna be giving some of these away with the next magazine. We've got a box of them to give away.
This guy? Luca.
I don't think so.
They're from Italy, so they fish in Italy. He makes this bait. It's like
damn.
Soft bait. Yeah, but he works with BKK too.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, I met them at the. I forgot where that point was going, but
I'll be giving this box. There's baits in here that I'll be giving away for the next magazine drop that you guys can win. So whenever that comes,
cool stuff, cool bait.
Cool bait. So talking about the trip today, what we're gonna go do? We're gonna hammer some fish.
Right.
After
we
that,
can talk about that for 3 hours, so we should probably move on.
Yes. we can't talk about it too much in case we don't hammer any fish. But I'm confident Marshall's bringing out the conventional rod and the swim bait rod. I might have to bring out a conventional rod as well.
Come on, dude, drag a worm with me.
I'm gonna drag a Senko.
Drag a worm with me, dog.
I honestly, you know what I think?
Drag a worm. I might drink at your bait. Grow your hair out. Get a lizard.
I might borrow a cramp shad from you, and I might drag a cramp shad.
You can do that. I'm actually repping DRT today, I guess.
Dragging the cramp shads. If you're watching from Japan, there will be zines available in Japan on the Mode B site very soon.
I'm probably gonna bring some too.
Whatever. Cool.
It's a decent transition too.
Yeah.
Talking about.
Oh yes.
Right?
Marshall is going to Japan in October.
I'm going. Kingo? I don't know if you're listening to this. Probably not. But all the boys over in Japan.
Takamura-san, if you're watching, if you're listening to an hour episode that you probably don't understand.
Yeah, I can't understand a single word to. Yeah. Dude, it's time. Japan time, finally. I feel like
it's going to be so sick.
I feel like we've been talking about a Japan trip. Just one of the boys.
Yes.
Any of the boys, right? We've been talking about a Japan trip forever. And I know Phoenix and Jeffrey have already been a billion times. So, whatever.
Yeah, Phoenix has gone twice now.
So it's just, we're knocking everybody off the list right now. Now it's my turn, which is absolutely insane.
Did you send your picture of your passport last night?
No.
We should probably do that after this. We'll probably forget again.
I've been sitting here. I have to send a picture of my passport to Kazuki so he can book my flight, and I totally spaced it.
I actually have to get a passport. I do not have a passport.
Well, there you go. That's step one.
Never even left the country. So
I do have my passport. I'm ready to go. I'm gonna be going for almost a month.
Which is crazy.
Which is a long time. So basically what happened, I don't think I talked about it a ton, but the boys, the G-Crack boys, they were like, yeah, we're doing a Japan trip. And I was like, sick, okay. And I thought about it, and they were like, we want to go for 7 days. So they're going to be going for 7 days. It's going to be, I don't know if I'm supposed to spill all this yet, but I'm going to go ahead and spill it here or whatever. It's going to be me, Kazuki, Ryan, and Alton. So Alton Jones Jr.,
yep.
the Mr. G-Crack, Mr. MLF.
Mr. G-Crack USA Tournament Angler.
MLF, right? I hope that's right.
Yeah, it's MLF, I'm pretty sure. It's definitely MLF.
We had something at, I forgot, we were at the show and they were talking about some bait. I think it was like the freeloader or something like that. And I asked them what a freeloader was, and they were like, "Dude, you're the only person here who doesn't know what a freeloader is."
I don't know what a freeloader is.
I didn't even know
the bait or like the term.
The bait, yeah.
Oh, I've never heard of that thing.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like I go to the ICAST shows or like this stuff that G-Crack is at, and I'm like, dude, I have no idea.
Have you heard of the Albert fentanyl doodle? The Albert fentworm?
I'm like, but they all think it's funny that I don't know any of the tournament terms, or like at the classic, it was like the big joke was like shaking a minnow. You know, everybody's talking about shaking a minnow, and I was like, what the hell is shaking a minnow? Like I've never once heard of that in my life until I get there.
Something stupid like
it's
that.
Weird. It's weird going to those events and then just being like, wow, this is totally out of the niche. Like the 2,000 people that are gonna watch this on my YouTube channel, we are this little community here is so disconnected from tournament fishing. It's actually it's pretty funny. Like when I go see that stuff, I'm like, dang, I didn't even know this many people fished. I
watched the first couple tournaments, like for bass, and that's about it. Like I have the fantasy league for the.
I've watched like the good ones. I've watched like the good ones on what was
2006 Clear Lake.
Yeah, the Clear Lake one. Everybody's seen that one if you were a swim bait nut. But what was I saying? We gotta go back.
Japan, Alton, freeloader.
Yeah, so we were going to Japan, and they were like, yeah, we want to go for 7 days, and I was kind of sitting there thinking about it, and I was like, dang, 7 days is not a long time.
Not a lot of time.
And then I was like, wait a minute, I don't have a job. I don't have anything to do. And I was like, hey, Kazuki, you think you can just book my flight for an extra
3 months?
You think you just book it for 2 weeks? And he was like, yeah, I don't see why I couldn't do that. It might even be cheaper. I was like, all right, sick. So
just, you know what? Just don't even book a return flight. I'll find my way back.
I thought about that. I thought about just doing it one way and just coming back when I felt like it. But I was like, let me just have it all set up just so I can go and go. But yeah, so I'm gonna get there, stay with the boys for 7 days. I don't know exactly where we're staying, but we're probably gonna be in Gifu for a while, and that's where the G-Crack factory is. So we're gonna tour the factory. We're gonna fish biwa. We're gonna do maybe some offshore fishing, deep sea stuff.
It's so big over there.
Has a sick boat, like a sick offshore boat. He was showing me videos of like the tuna, like just absolutely looks like the water's boiling.
Like you can just walk across them.
Exactly. So he's showing me that, and he was like,
tuna on the wake walker.
He asked me like, do you want to go saltwater fishing? And I was like, if we can do that. They all laughed, like they thought it was funny. But
they're like, no, this happens every 250 years. Like,
but we're gonna go do all that fun stuff, and then after they leave, I'm just gonna be there. And my plan, so you can kind of get like an idea of the content that's coming out, is I'm just gonna backpack it. I'm just gonna get my backpack together. I'm gonna throw my paddleboard in the backpack and a couple pairs of clothes and whatever I need, wallet, shades, and my phone, and I'm good. And I'm just gonna hike around Japan. I'm gonna take the transport. I'm gonna probably sleep on the ground, sleep in the little box.
Slide, the vaults.
Yeah, the box vault, the hotel.
The 25-cent hotels.
I'd like to go explore Biwa. I'd like to go explore Tokyo. So there's gonna be. I mean, I literally have no plan after that, so I'm just gonna be able to wander.
Like, you know where you need to go? You need to go to wherever. Blanking on the guy's name, the Ball and 300 guy, like where all those clips where they're standing on that huge embankment and all the float, the dams.
Ikehara Dam. Yeah, I want to go there, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at it. Like I might be. I don't know. I think it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Like it's kind of in the mountains, but there might be. I don't know, because I have to like find a train to get everywhere. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or ask for a ride or like whatever. But that is possible. I don't know. I'm gonna talk to Kingo. I'm gonna talk to Takamura. Like see who like is down to fish or whatever. But there should be a ridiculous amount of.
I'll get you. You can get a hold of the HB or HT fish guy.
Mm.
He lives outside of Biwa, like an hour and a half.
Nice.
So like you could fish with him. He'd be so down to fish with you.
That's dope.
You could record them making baits and stuff in their apartment. They're making baits in their apartment, skyrise, like
there's gonna be
crazy.
There's gonna be a ridiculous amount of stuff I'm gonna be able to
do. The DRT shot, dude.
So Aoki-san actually knows Tomoya.
Yeah.
So he told me he was like oh, we can get you in the DRT.
Dude,
I was like nice. So that's cool that everybody's connected. Yeah. So I kind of like, not that I have an in, but I kind of do. Like I know the people, which is cool. So I think getting into certain places like that won't be too much of a problem.
Dude,
like
I bet you we could get you hooked up with the Depths guys too.
You think so?
100%.
Yeah, I mean Jeffrey.
Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, blanking on his name.
I want to meet Manabu is what I really want to do. He just started following me on Instagram the other day.
I bet you could.
Which was definitely a cool moment.
I wonder where he lives.
I want to be able to tell him that I'm going to beat his record.
He's got to live on Biwa, I bet.
I'm sure. Yeah, I don't know. He does a bunch of saltwater fishing stuff now, so I don't know. I don't know where he's at, but I know he's like active because he was in Jeffrey's video.
Yeah, multiple videos at Keepcast
or
whatever.
Yeah, I'd like to go.
When's Keepcast? February?
I think it's in February. I could be wrong because I wanted to go to that one too. So we might go to that. I might go to that one too. I don't have any plans.
If I try for my passport now, I could go too.
Yeah, dude. If we did a Keepcast trip, would go hard. Because
that's
so Aoki-san actually runs.
Oh
Keepcast. Yeah. He is the Keepcast guy. So we could.
Dude, could you imagine us having like just like an American booth,
dude? That
like throwback, like
just bring a whole bunch of stuff.
That'd be awesome.
Stuff that would be super.
Yerbe, get the Japanese hooked on Yerbe.
The Japanese Yerbe. I'm gonna bring a suitcase full of American stuff. I'm gonna bring the zines. I'm gonna bring the throwbacks. I'm gonna bring all kinds of American lures, and just maybe some American merch or something like that.
That'd be crazy.
And I'm gonna bring it all. Trade it away, and I'm gonna fill the suitcase back up with Japanese stuff. Like I'm gonna go find all the coolest One Piece merch. I'm gonna go find all the coolest lures. Going to all the tackle shop, and I'm gonna buy everything.
Dude, the tackle shops, like Phoenix had that video of the tackle shops, and it blew up. Yep. Like there's like nothing outside of Jeffrey, Rob from Lunkers TV, and John B. Those are like the three guys.
To be honest, those videos were not good.
I did not even watch them. Yeah, Jeffrey, your videos suck.
No, Jeffrey's videos were good. The ones from John and I was like, they were like. I actually watched it with Zeth. We were sitting there on the couch watching it, and it was like they were in I forgot where they were. They were in Tokyo, I think. But they were fishing a string for like carp, and it was kind of cool. But it was kind of just like, okay.
Outside of Jeff Phoenix, and Rob and John B, those are like the four YouTube bass fishing videos that are out there in Japan. I feel like I'd never run across anything else. I mean, I guarantee there's other ones, but those are like the four that I have seen.
Right.
Two because they're massively popular, and the other two because they're homies. So I watched them, but I don't know. You got to go fish with who's the frog guy? Sammy.
Sammy.
Yeah, Sammy. Go fish with Sammy.
Fish with Sammy. That'd be hard.
Frog fishing and like fishing the wake walker in Japan.
Yeah, that would be dope. He'd probably be able to put me in spots where I could get smoked.
Yeah.
I don't know how the weather's gonna be in October. That's the only thing that freaks me out a little bit about backpacking is it might be cold at night. But I'm in for it, dude. I'm gonna get. I got my little sleeping bag. My sleeping bag is rated to like 30 degrees. So if it gets below 30 degrees, like I'm just gonna get a hotel at that point.
sleeping on the paddleboard in the middle of Biwa on one of those random ass like light towers,
like the oil rig.
Out in the middle of nowhere, like where they always see like the world record fish.
Yes, dude.
You're sitting out there live lining Archie. Live lining.
Unfortunately, Archie can't come, which is kind of sad.
You gonna leave him with Brian?
Yeah, I'm either gonna leave him with Brian or with my dad maybe. We'll see. We're gonna find it. We'll find a good home for him.
Archie's like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, he's listening to this and he's like, dude, you're gonna
leaving
leave
me for a month?
I know. I'm gonna get. I've thought about this for a minute too because everybody knows that Archie's cage is tiny, but he's never in there, so it's kind of like. But I'm gonna get him a bigger cage to stay for the whole month. Like I'm gonna get him like a 60-gallon because it's just like, I would feel so bad leaving him in that. But he would probably be fine because he's a fucking lizard. But
and if he's in like Texas, he'll.
Right. Yeah.
Your dad can leave him in the garden. Lock the garden. He can guard the garden.
Leave him in the garden to go eat all the romaine lettuce he wants.
Your dad comes out. You've been robbed.
Everything.
Archie is the shit. Archie has a head of lettuce in his stomach. Oh, it was just Archie. Okay,
absolutely rotund. Wow. Yeah, that's the Japan plan, dude. I'm super stoked. I guess if you guys listen to this and you want to see things from Japan, like what do you guys want to see? Because I'm gonna be there and I'm just gonna be filming everything. So. I don't know. I'm gonna go eat a bunch of crazy food, and I'm gonna go to all the shops. And
I'm pretty sure doesn't Japan have like public Wi-Fi like everywhere?
I think
I'm pretty sure like Tokyo has Wi-Fi.
Kazuki told me we're gonna get like a
Verizon
like a portable one. Yeah. So I don't know exactly how that's gonna all work, but yeah, there'll probably be a few days at coffee shops because I gotta charge all my stuff, and the backpacking is gonna be a little rough, but. Like I said, how could we do homeless fisherman Japan any other way than sleeping on the ground? Like, you know what I mean? Just like truly doing it homeless style. Like it's gonna be so fun.
There's a YouTube channel, I cannot remember the name, but like, it was probably like 2015. It was like very unhinged. He would go to like Spain, Japan, and he would take nothing. He would have like $25. He would sleep in the woods. Whoa. He would just go to free attractions. It's like. A very crazy channel. He would like ride trains, like literally, like he would be up in Washington State and he would just ride a train down to Oregon, like train hop.
That's the vibe I want.
It is such a funny channel because like he'll just walk past somebody and somebody will like bump into him in Spain and they'll just be like "F you," like, and they'll just look at him and he just keeps walking, like just absolutely no filter on this guy, and he was just like. He was literally just showing you what the country has to offer, like, for free. It's such a good YouTube channel. That's
the kind of the not that aggressive.
Not the vulgarness.
I mean, a little bit of vulgarness, but yeah, I want to just go there with nothing, pretty much, and just figure it out. You know what I mean? I think that's gonna be cool. I think the coolest thing I've heard about is like the public transport too. Is you can just take a bullet train to like. You want to be on the other side of the country in 2 hours? So here's a bullet train for $80. Like. Insane. I could just be anywhere. It's not like you're stuck in places like you are here. You know what I mean? If you're on foot here, you're screwed.
You're walking.
Screwed, dude. But like the public transport over there is amazing. So I'm gonna be able to get around without a car.
I like a lot of videos. These are all the only videos I like are homeless fisherman videos.
All my videos.
Crazy bastard. I'm trying to look for this one guy's video.
Did you find it recently?
He doesn't make YouTube videos anymore. He made YouTube videos for like 3 years and he just like disappeared. Nobody knows where he went. Like he just like MIA, completely gone.
Gone.
Fishing the world's biggest worm. But dude, Japan will be sick if if you, Jeffrey, and Phoenix and I could go like for Keepcast, dude, that would be.
I know. I'm sure
badass.
Jeffrey will be there, so
Yeah, Jeff will
we might
go.
as well figure out a way to go.
Yeah, that would be so just absolutely crazy.
Because I mean, this is like the gateway. Like me going is the gateway. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
now,
and like you can tell me what I'll need and like what I won't need.
Now that this is getting real, it's also weird that
You're going to Japan.
I know. I'm gonna be at the lake where the where the world record was caught. That's absolutely ridiculous to think about. It's such a big lake, but I'm so excited to paddleboard it, dude. Paddleboarding Biwa is gonna be like a first. I don't think not that nobody has ever done it before. I'm sure there's people who have done it, but I'm going to be like one of the first people fishing out there like I fish. You know what I mean? And those fish just don't see stuff like that. I'm going to bring one rod. I'm going to bring just a few baits. I'm going to try and pack super duper light, but literally just one rod, like travel rod style. Got a travel rod being made right now. Pretty stoked. It's going to be like a, I'm trying to go for like a, I don't know, 1/2 ounce to 2 ounce rod, so it's like a light swim bait rod, so I can throw sort of similar to the Bushwhacker, just sort of so I can throw like the Bellows Gill 5.8 and the Wake Walker and just stuff like that. I don't think it's a good idea to bring a whole bunch of stuff like that.
Kango is the only guy I know that kayaks. I'm like pretty sure Kango runs Jackson, Japan.
Yeah, or at least
is like really close homies with him.
Yeah. I don't know. There's not a lot of people that do kayak over there. I'm going to get a life jacket too. That's another thing I forgot.
Yeah, because like the Japanese are like super huge.
You got to get the hip one.
Yeah, the depths makes the hip one.
Yeah, that'll be kind of hard though. Honestly, I might wear it back here.
With your six. Marshall is also going to be carrying a firearm from here on out in all his videos. In the U.S. videos, Marshall is going to buy a 16-inch 22 revolver.
Yeah, I can't carry that in Japan, unfortunately.
No,
but
having
the life jacket and the revolver around my waist. That's hard. Strap the revolver around the waist, like in the waist life jacket.
Yeah, I'm trying to find this guy's video. I'll find it later. But dude, his shit is so cool. I can't. He's got like some random ass name. He doesn't make videos anymore.
Did you see the Japanese guy that rode his bike all the way across America? No. He was on Reels for a little bit. He popped up. He biked from like New York to San Diego. Like he literally went all the way across.
That's crazy.
Yeah, just on his bike. Like barely even knew any English. Like, or he knew.
That's literally gonna be you. Yeah. But it's gonna be inverted.
Yes, it's gonna be me, but I'm gonna be traveling across Japan. I'm gonna try and go far. I'm gonna try and see everything because I'm gonna have a ridiculous amount of time to just do whatever. I'm excited to just eat a bunch of food too. I kind of thought about like what I was gonna bring in terms of like food, and
I would bring nothing.
I was like, maybe I should cook. Maybe I should bring like a jet boiler, but I'm honestly not even thinking about bringing that because like I can just get food anywhere.
And I guarantee if you ask somebody I guarantee they'll just give you a jet boil to use for your trip.
Right.
Like all the DRT guys have jet boils. Everybody has jet boils.
Just to make ramen on the water or something like that, just so I can stay out longer.
You're like, oh, you're gonna make ramen? Yeah, we got one for you.
Perfect. I'm gonna eat some ridiculous meals though. Like in the morning, like before I go fishing, like I'm gonna be out for a long time and I'm not gonna like have access to everything, so I'm gonna eat everything. Everything I can get my hands on. I'm going to go in the convenience store. I'm going to get all the snacks. I'm going to do everything, dude.
7-Eleven.
7-Eleven. We're going to 7-Eleven. I can't believe 7-Eleven is a Japanese company.
Isn't that weird? It's Japanese?
Yeah.
I just knew it was big over there.
Did you know that? It's a Japanese company. Isn't that strange?
I know.
I didn't know that.
Snickers.
I think
Phoenix and Jeff.
Really?
You do not remember Phoenix like living off those little Snickers last time they were there?
No, what the heck? I remember he had the waffles.
The waffles.
The waffles, dude. I'm a sucker for those waffles, dude. Those waffles are my favorite. I get them here. You get them at Costco, the big brioche ones. Or the
230 calories
250 calories for one waffle. An easy 500 calories for the bulk.
Or two.
Just two.
And still be hungry after. Not even have a dent.
Yeah, perfect. It's like 31 grams of carbs.
We had a nice filling breakfast. I probably could have had like 5 more eggs today. When you're like, yeah, that's enough eggs. I'm like,
5 more.
I was like, yeah, I think I made 8 or 9.
Jesus, for you?
No, for both of us.
I was gonna say, my God, no. Like I could eat that, but my God, that's a lot.
Was the French toast good? I didn't end up having it.
It was pretty good. I think
the French toast yesterday was probably better.
Doused it in syrup. So I'm on a bulk now that we're changing up. So I know. I guess I haven't even talked about this in a video either. No. Because I've just been like on the Whole Foods cut, and then went to the fast. But now Now,
Marshall's body's like, what is going on?
I can't stay on one thing. Okay, we're bulking up. All right, I figured I need to gain a little bit before I go to Japan. I'm kind of starting my training here. I need to be able to backpack train. I'm gonna get my backpack soon, probably here in the next like 2 weeks or so. I might even get it in Minnesota. I might just look for it, but I'm gonna get me a nice backpack, and I'm just gonna start walking around with a bunch of weight in my back, like just to.
What you should do is you should go to Planet Fitness and get on the cliffs
God.
and walk like 50 stories.
Put like
50 stories in the morning and then walk 5 miles in the afternoon.
That's honestly a good idea. Yeah.
Because Phoenix said that there's a bunch of stairs too.
Yeah, but I need to eat a ridiculous amount to gain muscle. Like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have that body type. I was talking about this with Zeth, but his Zeth personal trainer, like from a few years ago, he was like, dude, you need to eat 6,000 calories a day
just to like keep up with what you burn.
He said there should never be a moment in the day where you're hungry, and I was like, oh my god. So I'm not hitting 6,000, but I'm going for 5,000 a day is like my goal.
6,000 calories, like. You
dude,
think 2,000 calories is easy to hit, but 6,000.
Dude, 2,000 is like one meal.
Yeah, exactly.
2,000 is one meal for that diet right there. Like, legitimately. You'd have to eat that 3 times a day. Like, I don't know. And I feel like I can eat 3,500 easily.
If you had 3 1,500 meals and then 3 500 snacks. So if you had if you had 6 waffles a day on top of, which honestly 1,500 calories isn't a lot. You could go to Culver's and get a double butter burger with a medium fry and a large ice cream, and that'd probably be close to like 1,300, if not like 1,600. But eat that 3 times a day, dude. Like
I know. Well, it's also it also depends though, because like you got to think about this. And Zeth told me this was back when he was doing BMX stuff. Mm-hmm. So like, dude, out there for hours a day, just like. Burning the most amount of calories possible. Eating 6,000 when you're burning that
you're
much
only
is
like
not as hard.
pocketing like 3,500.
Exactly, right? Well, so like I mean, when I'm paddleboarding and like running in the morning and like, dude, do you know how many calories I'm burning in the day just from like walking around or or fidgeting or existing?
Like yesterday we probably walked like 2 or 3 miles.
Yeah, just think about,
and then we paddleboard.
Think about all the stairs we walked up every day.
I forgot about stairs.
Eating in a surplus is so much easier when you're just an active human being. Whenever you're outside a lot, and that's all I do. I paddle. How many miles? Like I don't know how many miles do you think we paddled yesterday?
I would say 2.5.
Like
3.
And then plus the amount we walked.
Plus the walk.
All the walking.
And then like the 200
There's no way I ate enough yesterday. There's no way. You know what I mean? Like there's no possible way.
We had. Okay, so you guys will watch the video today. We got these subs. Marshall and I, so when my girlfriend and I go, we usually get 2 apiece, because like I always eat one while we're there, and then I'll usually have one for lunch. Yeah. Marshall and I, we ate ours while we were there. We fished. It was probably like 3.5 hours, probably like 2.5 hours we got back down here. Yeah. We sat down, and before we went fishing, we finished our second sandwiches. And I was like, damn, like I am still hungry. But like the sandwiches, dude, if it was like, if there were crappier ingredients in it, we'd get more calories out of it. But it was like farm fresh tomatoes, like farm fresh lettuce. That mayo probably had a lot of calories in it. Maybe. Like it was like super fatty mayo. Oh my god.
I mean, the bread was the most calories out of the whole thing.
So good.
But that thing was that was an amazing sandwich. That was
so
like
good.
That was probably, I don't know if that was the best. I don't know. I can't think of a better sandwich I've ever had. So like because I'm like a sandwich guy. I'm not like, let's go to the deli, let's go to the sandwich shop. But you know, I've had some sandwiches
like for 6 sandwiches for like $57, $58, like those are a top tier sandwich.
Dude, that was absolutely lovely.
6 sandwiches that are like they're probably like fat. 10, 11 inches and like tall.
It's like a 10-inch sandwich, but it's a
can't even fit your mouth on
It's a fat ass sandwich. Like that thing was loaded. You didn't feel like you were getting skimped at all. No. Like you pay that money and then you get it and you're like, oh.
And there's like ham or turkey or bacon like dropping off your sandwich. Oh my god. Like it's the type of sandwich that you chew. Like you can't just like wolf it down. Like you're literally chewing it and you're like.
Yeah,
like realistically, you probably burn like 150 calories while you're eating the sandwich because you're just chewing. Dude,
and the pretzel bread was insane. It wasn't like regular pretzel bread. It's like
it's a homemade recipe.
Yeah, it's like its own.
It's not a hard pretzel. It's like a pretzel bread. It's like there's a coating on it, and then the inside is like super chewy. It's like a hard crunch, and then it's chewy.
And it's got the big chunks of sea salt that you hit every once in a while. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm making everybody hungry.
Dude,
We're going to Culver's
dude,
after this.
the sandwiches are so damn good. We're gonna go to the spring, the artesian well. I don't know if you guys have that. Apparently, it's not like.
Wait, was that?
That was the well.
Oh, okay,
that was the well.
okay,
Yeah,
that's right.
it's an artesian well. I don't know if it's a thing. Like I thought it was a thing everywhere, but Marshall said he had never seen one before.
No, the well. You'll see it in the video, but the
it's
well.
Pressurized water that comes out of the ground.
Out of the ground right there, and it's not like locked up or anything. It's just
you don't have
there.
to turn it off.
Yeah, it's just right there on the side of the road. You can just pull up and fill up a jug, and that's probably the best tasting water I've ever had.
So think of like in the cartoons or like the movies like where they're in Texas and they're pounding down and they hit oil and it's shooting up. Like
yes.
oh my gosh, we hit oil. That's what it is, but it's water.
It's like the best water ever.
Dude, that water. And it's like coming, like it fills up like Marshall filled up a jug and the jug was literally sweating in like 65 degrees, 67 degree weather. Like it was crazy.
I gotta drive up here, fill up like 20 jugs and then drive back down to Texas every month.
I mean like, so we had fished Friday, so we drove past it, we had stopped and I'm like, wow, this is really weird, we're the only ones here. We had some water, like, oh, it's really good. And Marshall's like, oh, when we stop back by, I'll fill up my water bottle or whatever. So we were coming back, and there was, like, 4 cars there. Yeah. And I was like, dude, that's, like, how it usually is. I was so surprised there was nobody there. Yesterday when we got there, there was one guy there. One guy pulled in with us. And then we were leaving, like, 2 or 3 more people pulled in. And
dude,
it was just
they were stoked on that water.
And just filling jugs up.
Me
like,
too.
When we left Friday night and we passed it after we'd stopped the first time, I was like, yeah, people really fill up jugs. We drove by and somebody was filling up like a sports jug of Gatorade, like that you would see on like an NFL sideline. They were filling one of those up.
And it's crazy to just like
it's free.
It's just insane to me because I feel like in Texas like they would charge for that. Like oh, you get to pay
like
to come
an entry
in the park.
fee.
Like, yeah, you know what I mean. No, what the heck?
It's just on the side of the road.
Insane. I wonder if they have anything like that in Japan. Just water coming out of the ground. I'm sure the mountains up there probably have some nice spring water.
Dude. You should get a BFS rod made too.
Oh God! Don't say that. No, don't say
you
that.
That's a
whole nother rabbit hole. That's a whole nother rabbit hole.
That'd be sick. You could do it with a travel rod.
Whenever I buy a house in Japan, I'll just leave all the gear there. I'll have a whole bunch of gear.
We'll just ship stuff to Jeff to keep in a corner at his house.
Thanks, Jeff.
Guys, you guys got to start paying import fees. You guys have sent me $3,000 worth of fishing gear, and I don't even get to use it. It's for you guys when you come twice a year,
Jeff,
3 years.
Jeff, I'm sleeping on your couch whenever you get it. Sorry, bud.
Dude, houses in Japan are so cheap.
I know, dude. You can get like a freaking.
You can get like
a house on the ocean on the cliff for like $30,000.
That literally looks like a kung fu dojo that you would see in like a movie, and it's got like 12 rooms, 5 bathrooms, and it's all like rolled bamboo for the flooring and carpet and stuff, and like the cool like sliding doors with like the sheets, and they're like $75,000.
Diabolical.
I told Jeff
when I sell Ethel. I'll just buy a house in Japan.
When I told Jeff, I was like, dude, you know what would be sick?
I'm not selling Ethel.
If you found a big enough house on Biwa and you got a boat ramp installed and you just ran a lodge.
Dude.
Oh a US Biwa lodge where you fly in, you go meet them at the airport, you take the train, take the bus, go meet the guys at the airport, grab them, bring them back to the house. And you have 2 bass boats, and you can go with them, or they can go do their own thing, or whatever. Or you hire 2 guides, like they do in Mexico. You just hire like a Kango and somebody else to stay at your house for free.
Right.
You literally house them for free, and they just take your clients out, and they get the tips or whatever else.
Jeez, Jeffrey, you gotta.
It's a crazy idea.
You got an industry here.
You know how convenient would it be for somebody like you and I who doesn't know a lick of English or lick of Japanese to show up. Oh, there's Jeff there to speak to us. Right. Hey guys, we're gonna hop on this.
There's nothing like that.
Yeah, we're gonna hop on this bullet train. We're gonna take it to what's the town by Fuji before you get up to Biwa?
I remember you said it. I can't remember what it is, but
Kyoto.
Kyoto is
I think it's Kyoto.
Yeah, that's like the big.
That's
one.
like yeah.
It's
So you get
Biwa,
to you get to Kyoto and that's like the last tourist town, and then you go up Fiji around and you end up at. What's the town right there? The DRT shops there.
I know. I can't. That's the one that Jeff was like. Told me about. I can't remember.
So you get literally you meet Jeff at the airport. He takes you to Kyoto, and then he takes you over the hill, whatever, and you're at Biwa. And you walk 2 miles from the train stop, and you're at Jeff's lodge, and you just get to fish for 5 days. Like, dude, that would be so crazy. Not have to worry about speaking any Japanese. You give Jeff a grocery list. He goes and picks up what you want, prepares it for you. Like. Dude, that would be
because there's nothing.
Crazy.
There is nothing like that. Like the Japanese guys.
Like Sammy. Sammy's the only guy that Sammy and Kango are the only guys over there That,
Sammy doesn't really even speak a lot of English.
No, he
just bit. He's just like,
but Kango
he's just
speaks English and.
I'll have to hit up Sammy and see what his prices are because I want to go.
Yeah, dude, that'd be sick.
Cool.
But outside of that, like, dude, there's like nothing.
Right.
Like, literally the only people I've ever seen take a guided trip somebody who knows what they're doing are Jeff and Phoenix.
Yeah.
When they went with Sammy.
Yeah.
That's like the only person that I know that has ever
I'm
done
sure there's
something
people
like
who do it, but not for Americans. Like, or not. They don't like advertise it for Americans.
Right. And that's like why I think it's so readily accessible for guys to go to Mexico because they can fly into Mexico City. Mm-hmm. They can hop on a bush plane, get there.
Did I tell you that Kazuki does guides over here in Dallas for Japanese people?
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he does He does exactly what
we're talking about. Inverted.
But America.
Sorry for Mr. Kyle Gracely keeps dinging me.
Yeah, so he does the same thing, but he'll guide people on a fork.
The
Japanese guys want to go to fork because they're like,
that's what they hear about.
Yeah, so they'll go out. But he's going to do that again this winter.
Okay.
Yeah, so he does that for all the people who can't speak
English. Literally doing that in Japan.
Yeah.
Like, and I know
a bunch of American guys who want to go.
Yeah, and even if Jeff like wrote something down, because I know it's easy in Tokyo and Kyoto, it's like English. Like, there's English signs too. Yeah. Because there's so many. It's like big tourist cities. Mm-hmm. So if you even just like if Jeff's like, okay, I got your flight booked, everything. You just gotta be at Dallas, Fort Worth International here. You have a connecting flight here. You're going to land at this time. You're going to take this train, which is an hour and a half after you land. Here's where the luggage carousels are. All you have to do is take the 2-hour train ride to Kyoto. I'll pick you guys up at the train station. We'll hop on the next train. We'll take it an hour and a half to Biwa. And then on the way back, maybe it takes you all the way to Tokyo or just whatever, dude. Like, they're... Dude, I would pay a lot of money to have like an American experience in Japan, like not like, oh, where am I?
Bobby,
I can't read. I know this is the Burger King logo, but I can't read anything. I don't know what I want. dude, that'd be so convenient.
Yeah,
the convenience factor of that would be like such a huge selling point for guys.
I want it to be inconvenient though.
I
want to show up and have no idea what's going on.
Fuck.
I think that's gonna be the fun. I think that's gonna be the funnest part. It's just being like uncomfortable. Just be like, wow, I don't know where I am. I'm not gonna want to leave though. I already know that. I'm gonna go there and be like.
Dude, the problem is you're going to be there for a month, and you're going to get back here, and you're going to be so screwed up on your sleep schedule.
Dude, I know everything's. I mean,
and then you're going to be here for 2 months, and then you're going to turn around and go back for KeepCast, and you're going to be like, oh, I'm still on this sleep schedule. Like, that's awesome, perfect.
Right. Like, why don't I just stay?
Yeah, just stay around for 4 months.
I gotta figure out how to get a citizenship.
November, December, January, February. Yeah, stay for 3.5 months.
That lets you stay for 3 months without a visa. So 3 months is like the max. Certain countries are different, but like Japan is one. Like usually it's a month. Usually it's 30 days, but Japan is one where you can actually stay for
90 days.
Yeah, 90 days without a visa, which is really cool. Dude, so if I do want to go there for dude, if I go there this time, and I'm like, oh, I just want to stay for 3 months.
Go for KeepCast and not
stay
come back.
for 3 months. Like I can, which is cool to know. Without getting without getting a citizenship.
And that's where you get an e-bike.
Oh.
And like you pay a little extra to bring it over there, and then when you come home, you just leave it there.
Right. Exactly.
You give it to Takamura, or you give it to somebody and say, "I don't need this. Keep this for when I come back."
Worth buying. Yeah.
That would be sick.
God, dude, I could fly around everywhere.
That would be.
I get a little sidecar for Archie, like the Indiana Jones movie, and then I have my little trailer on the back with my paddleboard.
Dude, that would go hard.
We both have helmets on and goggles.
something you'd see in like an Indian marketplace, like.
Yes, dude.
The only time, you can only get through the traffic because you're in a little sidecar. That'd be awesome. How long have we been going for?
Yeah, how long have we been?
51 minutes.
51 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's go for a little bit more.
What should we talk about here?
We should answer questions. And let's cancel it.
Okay.
End it.
Cancel it. We're done.
We're going to get canceled right here. So we'll go for another 15, 20 minutes here, answer some questions, and then we're going to go fishing because I'm kind of itching.
We're going to go fishing.
I'm itching to go fishing.
Let's see what Jeffrey posted. Oh, no, he's posted about Sammy. There's 57 seconds ago.
Whoa. Okay. Come on, answer the questions.
All right. Get to it,
distracted. Brain rot distraction.
Okay.
All right. Oh my God, we got a lot.
Yeah.
Let me see here. What do we got?
Should we start at the top?
Wow. Okay.
Okay. There's not that.
Okay. I guess we can go through all these. Let's see. Should we look at the ones that are just for?
We'll just go through them all.
Okay. Let's start at the bottom. What are some lesser known bait makers that deserve some more recognition?
G-Crack America.
That one's already up there.
Okay, maybe not bait builders, maybe baits that are slept on. I will say the Swim Bait Republic Glideway is slept on. It is a $75
blowing
bait.
up right now, which is cool.
$75 bait that can handle snook.
Right,
Yeah, you can
stuff
fish
like
it
that.
floating, slow sink, or fast sinking. It's a super cool bait. I don't know. I would say for an ABS bait, it's pretty cool. I don't know, like any. I don't know. I feel like a swim bait builder gets what they put out. Like you look at Kyle Gracely, Kyle from Throwback, Toxic. Like you look at guys.
Right.
You look at guys that are giving back. Like if somebody breaks a tail, Kyle Gracely sends them a new bait, or Kyle from Throwback sends them a free pack of tails, or a new bill, or send it back. We'll tune it. You know, I just think
put a lot of effort into their media and their content.
Like this is my brand. Yeah. I need to go above and beyond. I feel like that's what sets a bait builder apart that wants to do it full time and is like, I could probably do this full time. Like you have to like do it. You can't just beat around the bush. Yeah. So I guess in turn, like if somebody doesn't want to be what is it? How did he word that?
Lesser known bait.
Okay, so if you want to be recognized, you have to like go above and beyond. You have to. Unfortunately, you have to give baits away for free to have people like plug them, like to say, oh yeah, this bait swims right, or like this bait doesn't swim right. You know, you need
or you got to go out there and put in the proof and get the proof yourself. You know what
like
I mean?
GoPro, you need GoPro. Like
go get a GoPro.
Yeah, make
a
like
good video.
Make like a 5-minute cast to catch montage of your stuff, and then have somebody send you in a couple cast to catches and stuff. Like
I'm trying to think of baits that I use that I think are unrecognized, but I can't really think of anything because everything used to be like on the low. Like G-Crack and Throwback used to be kind of on the low, but everything blew up now. So I'm like, oh, they got the recognition they deserve.
Scariest moment fishing.
God, what was my scariest moment? I had one in Texas. I guess it was last.
You're telling me a Florida gator hasn't bitten your leg off yet? No, you haven't lost a leg yet?
I've actually lost my right leg 4 times. It keeps growing back, damn thing. So. Probably not. This isn't my scariest moment ever. I'm like having a blank trying to draw it up because I don't really feel like I have that many scary moments out. But I had one on a big lake in Texas last April when I was on that crazy. I guess was it last April?
2 Aprils ago.
2 Aprils ago. Holy cow, Jesus, time's flying.
Yeah, when you said when you talked about that yesterday,
when I was tearing up those fish on my mother, I went out one day and.
Do you want me to hold this?
Sure.
I was wondering why you're like. Trying to hand it to me, like I don't want to shove it in his face, but I don't want to hold it.
I went out one time and it was just like a storm that rolled in, and I think I was remembering this because the guys were surfing, and I remember being out there and like, oh, the wind's picking up, and then it was blowing with me, fortunately, back to the campground, but. It picked up, and I am not kidding. The wave came up, and the board was like the nose was out of the water. Like it was. Oh. I was surfing. No, like riding the wave. Yeah. And I was like, oh my god! And Archie was on the front of the board. Or no, this wasn't with Archie. This was before. Archie. Yeah, this was before Archie. And I just remember like paddling really hard and like grabbing this wave and catching it. And I was like, wow, if I was going the other way, I wouldn't make it. Like I wouldn't have made it. So I just had to like be really careful, and I kind of took some of them sideways so I could go over them. And it just rolled in like that. And I was like, whoa. But it didn't, it kind of spooked me a little bit, but I got back and I was safe, so it wasn't like, I didn't get hurt or anything, but that was definitely a pretty freaky one.
Mine wasn't necessarily fishing, it was while we were duck hunting. I remember it was like 22 degrees, and it's like a flooded marsh, and I stepped, and it was a beaver hole, and so like I was already like up right below. So like your waders go like right above your nipple line, like right like where your armpit creases. It goes all the way across, and I was like up pretty high, like to the bottom, like right in the middle of my ribs. And I remember stepping in that beaver hole, and it went up to my neck. And I remember getting out, like stepping. I was like, I couldn't catch my breath. And then
was it cold?
It was cold. It was like 22 degrees outside. Yeah.
Dude, your warriors still.
Yeah. And then like we had to pick up all the decoys, and we had to paddle. It was a spot we fished yesterday, that marsh that I was telling you about. We had to paddle all the way back across.
When your waders fill up with water, that is scary.
And then like everything is freezing.
I saw some of the boys in Texas fishing on the paddleboard with waders.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, that's like.
I did it this spring.
I get it, but like, oh my god, that's sketchy.
You fall over, and you're
way more sketchy than just falling in, like regularly. I'm like, dude, if you fill up and you just sink, you can't get them off. Like
the only good thing about the waders, like the waders that I wear, it's the ones with the actual boots like built in.
Yeah.
So like if you fell in and like filled up, all you have to do is click, unclick them, and they would just fall out. Yeah.
But then like, what if it gets caught?
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean? You're just like, and then you have a steel ball attached to your leg, and you just
literally.
Sink. But you know.
In what conditions do you pick up a hard bait as opposed to a soft bait? I'll let you
whenever
answer
I
this
feel like
first.
it.
Yeah, I was about to say if my like recently.
It's a gut feeling, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, so I feel like I talk about this a lot, and this is a weird backwards answer that people don't understand, but I just think that there's like this age-old thing in fishing where it's like there's rules, quote unquote, right?
Yeah, you talked
and they're
about
like,
this with Mercer.
Yeah, they're like, oh, if it's cloudy and windy, you have to throw a spinnerbait or a crankbait. And I'm like, okay, but my biggest spinnerbait fish came on a flat, calm, bright, sunny day. Like, dude, I caught a 9.5 pounder. I'm just like, dude, I don't believe in that in the rules. It's more like, dude, if you have fished enough and you trust yourself, if you have that gut feeling that comes up where it's like, oh, I feel like I should throw this right now. I go out there and I don't decide what I'm going to throw before I get to the lake. I get there and I roll up and I drop in, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to tie this on because it feels right. You will get a feeling for it the more you go. And maybe people who are starting out need a little bit more hints, so like kind of follow the rules, but take them with a grain of salt. There are going to be days where you go out and those rules don't mean a thing. They don't mean a damn thing. It could be flat, calm, sunny, crystal clear water and you can catch them on a spinnerbait. It could be super muddy and you can be catching them on a Ned rig. You know what I mean? Chocolate milk water. Like, there is no rules technically. So it's more about just using your feeling. If I feel like a hard bait is going to get bit today, I'm going to throw a hard bait. If I feel like this, the Citizen or a soft bait is going to get bit, I'm going to throw that. It's just, I don't know. It just comes with time. You know what I mean? Like, there is no like, oh, I see this weather and I decide.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a couple things that sway me, but overall, it's not going to be like, if I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fish the hard bait for 2 hours and not get anything, I'm probably not eating the hard bait. You know what I mean? If I put in a good effort.
That's like what my answer is going to be. If I'm fishing a glide bait and like those fish are like not all over it, because like the fish up here, they'll like follow your bait.
Right.
If I'm not seeing that, or like they're like shying off it, or they're like seeing something, like if that bait starts to nose up and they like start to freak out a little bit, or it nose down or whatever, that's when I'll pick up the soft bait. Like if my fish show no interest in a hard bait, I'm like, oh well, I gotta go to a soft bait now.
Listen to the fish,
thing. Yeah.
because the conditions don't mean anything if the fish aren't responding. You know.
How do you and Marsh have your paddleboard set up?
So
I feel like this is like a universal. Yeah, Marshall has his set up a little bit different because he has a different style crate, but it's literally like a one answer. Yeah. Like I'm sure there's people that have it set up differently, but this is like the way to do it.
This is the way to do it, but you can add on to it. Yeah. Like you can create your, like the cool thing about the paddleboard is it is just nothing.
You just
so you can make whatever you want.
Literally the milk crate is like the sandbox, and you can just build whatever you want around it. It's kind of like Minecraft. Like it's the world. You just build whatever you want around it.
You can make it however you want. You could put an umbrella on the back. You could put rod holders, GoPro, whatever you want. You can strap it to the milk crate. So we just have milk crates. I have an extra wide one that I got off Amazon.
Marshall's is sick.
It's like a wide one because it just saves. It's like more room for me. You know, I can put more camera gear and stuff in there. And I have bungees on the back of my board. But if you don't have bungees, go buy a bungee cord and just go underneath the board in between the fins and connect it on top, and it'll just hold it down to the board. And using that, you could do anything you wanted. Like when I put Archie's thing up on the front, his little wood, same thing, bungee up to the bottom. You know, like if you want to put, a cooler on the front, if you want to put whatever you want.
If you want to, I mean, that's how Jared has his setup with the cooler.
With the live scope. You can do all kinds of things. Like, just get creative with it, you know what I mean? But the basic setup is going to be milk crate on the back and strap whatever you want to the milk crate, because it's very easy to connect things in milk crate.
And all you need is zip ties or pipe.
Yeah, it's really cheap. You can find a milk. This is the thing, right? Buy
like $15.
Buy a piece of junk paddleboard off Facebook Marketplace for $100. Yep. Go find a milk crate behind a restaurant.
Yep. Go
get a PVC pipe for your GoPro mount and PVC for the rod holders, and boom, you have a fishing setup.
Marshall just described my whole board.
That's literally the board, and it for what, $150 maybe.
And all you would need is like a handsaw to cut the PVC pipe if you needed to.
It's the cheapest way to get on the water.
And then like a drill bit, or a nail. You can push a nail to zip tie your rod holders on there. Like it's so easy.
But also don't think you need any of that either, because I've had plenty of really good days out there with nothing on the back.
I take one rod and I just set it down. I mean, I have rod holders.
If you're doing quick missions, you don't even need the crate. So, that's the setup. The milk crate.
What larger forage do trophy fish target on non-trout fed lakes? Smaller bass, carp. I feel like carp probably.
I mean, honestly, I've never been a big believer that bass are eating carp like super common, but like, I don't know. I think they do, but I don't think they pick them out because I think they're kind of tough to eat. But also, I don't believe that there's like a specific forage that they are like. I don't know. They eat anything.
Like where they're like that's a perch,
only
that's a
thing I'm gonna
crappie.
eat.
I'm
Yeah,
only gonna eat the perch.
They eat whatever is in their
if it's presented,
vicinity, you know what I mean?
presented the way, if it swims past their nose and their
gizzard shads are like the second to trout, but if you don't have gizzard shad, bluegills and crawfish. And
those are the bluegills and crawfish are in every single lake across the country.
Damn near, you know what I mean?
So like that's got to be a forage. I mean, how many times if you go out bluegill fishing, you maybe like in Michigan, you go out bluegill fishing, you may catch 5 crappie and 5 perch to 50 bluegill.
Yep.
And bluegill are in all different sizes because they have such successful hatches. Like
bluegills and crawfish are the forage for any bass across the country. That's it. But really anything, like I said, I've seen bass with turtles in their mouths and shit like that.
Snakes and
anything.
ducks. And
they don't care.
No.
It's all about the presentation.
Old Dylan asked, in what conditions would you fish a wake bait? Yeah. In what conditions would you fish a wake bait with a bill versus without a bill, vice versa? Okay, so
you know how to do this.
Like when would you fish? When would you fish a wake walker versus the floating flea shad that Kyle just came out with?
I mean,
I don't know if whichever one
current,
I have.
If there's current, it kind of depends on current. Like maybe the flea shad is going to be
cranks down a little bit
better
or
if there is current. You know what I mean? But also that it like. Again, this kind of comes back to the first question that we got. It's more just like a feeling. You know what I mean? Like if they're chasing bait that is fast and aggressive, like if they're chasing little thread fins, shad spawn maybe, something lipless always, like a flea shad or a bull shad. You know what I mean? You want something you can move quick. A lipped wake is definitely going to be for that like slower bite where you put it into a piece of cover and like creep it out. You know what I mean? You want to keep it over their head.
That was the other thing I was going to say. If you're fishing, like the spot we fished yesterday had like a bunch of random, like I don't know if you noticed, there's like a bunch of just random dead floating grass. Like if you're fishing, I feel like the bill kind of knocks some of that grass
and it
away.
also allows you to just keep it over their heads. You know what I mean? Because if flea shad, you're going to rip it right by them. And some days that's great.
And you can keep the wake walker there and just walk it in place. Right. So I feel like
it just depends on the fish really, what the fish are doing. If they're chasing, lipless. If they're not, and you just need to soak it in front of them, wake bait, bill.
Are DC reels actually worth it if I already know how to use a bait caster? I don't have a DC, so this is a question for Marsh.
I think so. I definitely think that at least for lighter baits and more conventional stuff, for swim baits, I don't think it really makes a big difference.
If you're fishing a 4-ounce bait.
Right. Your reel's going to cast great regardless.
As long as you know how to stop it.
Yeah, exactly, right? I think the DC makes a big difference, though. Like, I've always enjoyed my Calcutta DC. I've had the Corrado DC, like all those DC reels that I've had. I have always had a lot of fun with them, and I feel like I can get away with throwing much lighter baits than I could with just a regular reel, and it's a lot easier. It just takes away, and it's not like don't get a DC reel if it's your first reel. Like you know what I mean. I think you should learn how to use the regular reel first and then move to it. But if you already know how to use a bait caster, get one because it's awesome, and you can really tinker with this. If you really tinker with the settings, you can get a crazy far cast.
How did you get into fishing making glide baits? Well, I did not make glide baits.
I don't make glide baits either.
I got into fishing. Pretty much my whole family does it. Up here in the north, it's really common to be like a guide on the river for trout or like Lake Michigan for trout and salmon and stuff. So my whole family guided. I was the black sheep of the family and got into bass fishing. Nobody else really does that. So that's how I got into it.
I had the generic old story. My dad took me fishing, and that was it, dude. He just took me down the dock. We laid our rods down on the dock and held them and watched the tips for the bluegill, and that was it. I just couldn't help it after that. I was like, I gotta do this all the time.
What are the most productive areas and times swim baiting?
Oh Jesus, main lake points, like very obvious pieces of structure. Like when you're, I mean, even the structure that people hit all the time. You know what I mean? Like when you see big bridges or points or giant laydowns, like even if it gets pounded throughout the day, and most of the time the spots that do get pounded have the giant fish on them.
They just come in for 20 minutes and dip out or
sit
exactly.
on the edge.
They
are there. Yeah. Like if you look at an area, there's areas. The last 10 that I caught this year, dude, I have fished that spot for years, and I have never caught a fish off of it until that 10, and I just kept hitting it because I was like, dude,
it's too
I know it. I know it. My gut was like, yes, there is a fish there, and I fished it, and finally just the timing was right, the angle was right, the
Yeah.
bait was right. Boom, set up on it. There's a 10. It's gonna be. You're gonna know.
Yeah.
You know.
And if you put in the time, if you soak, like Bill Murphy or Bob
Yep.
Croupi, like if you sit there for 8 hours
Yep.
and float a crawdad,
Yep.
and that thing's just down there doing little crawdad stuff, like a fish is gonna present itself.
Yeah,
It's like
you will figure
and
out.
that
what's
that
there.
fish may only come up for a 10-minute window and push back off. But if you, I mean, this doesn't have to do it with swim bait fishing, but if you like,
It kind of does though.
like if
there's
you're
definitely
there,
the timing.
yeah, like the moon setting in the afternoon.
Sometimes
like,
people don't, and like not everyone gets the chance to do this, but if you feel like you have a spot where it's like, dude, there's got to be a giant fish there,
Yeah.
but you've hit it, you're like, oh,
every morning for the past 3 years,
I tried
maybe
in the
hit it in the afternoon.
Well, even further, like, oh, I hit it, I hit it in the morning today,
Yeah.
and then tomorrow I hit it in the afternoon, and then tomorrow, like, no. Sit on that spot and drag a worm for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I promise you a fish will show up.
Right.
If you believe it, if you know there's a big one there.
If you have reason to believe that
Yes.
there's a fish that pushes up there.
Soak that worm, soak a citizen, do whatever. The 10 that I caught, dude, I was on that spot. I fished it like 3 different times during the day, and probably for a collective of 3 hours.
Right.
Like my citizen was on the spot, on the bottom.
Yeah.
It's like a offshore rock pile.
Mm-hmm.
And just, I was connecting with it for a total of like 3 hours. And it finally just happened, you know what I mean? So there's, certain scenarios I would advise against that. Depends, like deeper water, it's better. If you're fishing a spot that's super shallow, like you don't need to soak that long.
Right.
But especially like offshore stuff, like soak. You know, just keep the bait down there because eventually they'll turn around. Especially if you're on a paddleboard where they don't know you're there.
Yeah.
There's no harm in soaking
Right.
a citizen in front of them. They're just gonna be like whatever.
Yeah.
But
This is a question directed towards me. If you weren't writing a fishing magazine, what would you write a magazine about? I was thinking about this while you were talking about that, and I don't know, like, if I have an answer. I don't know. I don't really have any other hobbies or anything. I think, right now, if you guys were like, you had to stop writing the magazine and start a new magazine, I would start an overlanding magazine.
really,
That would be hard.
that makes sense.
Like
Actually.
interview like
That makes
somebody
sense.
like you or somebody who does like off-grid camping, like.
Oh, that makes
Dude,
sense,
you could have
actually.
so many van life articles. You
Yeah.
could have so many and dude, like the pictures that you could get from like the people like out
Dude.
overlanding in like California, like with the red oaks
Wow.
and Oklahoma or not Oklahoma,
Oh,
Washington.
God. You guys don't give him any more.
Dude,
fucking
like that would
ideas.
be
Don't give him
badass.
any
That would
more
be so
ideas.
sick because like
overlanding zine coming. coming
overlanding
soon.
overlanding is like not like fishing. Like it's all about the aesthetics.
Right.
Like.
Just the
Like
look
everybody,
and that,
everybody carries like a professional camera. Like
Right.
everybody takes like the super high green loom and
God.
gloom like pictures up in the mountains. Like, dude, you could get some crazy
Oh
stuff.
God, that's a really good answer.
That or like one thing that I've always really been into that I never talk about is like rally car racing.
There you go.
I would do a
was
rally
gonna say,
car
That was
racing.
my first, because that's what I thought you were gonna
Yeah.
say. The overlanding made way more sense
Yeah,
though when
yeah.
you said it. I was like, oh, that makes
But
sense.
like
That's
rally
definitely
car
you.
racing, like if you guys have just like the slightest interest in cars and like rally, look up Dirtfish on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. Dude, Dirtfish is like a crazy media page that covers all things rally racing. So it's probably one of those two, I would say. It'd probably go overlanding, and then second would be rallycross.
That makes so much sense.
All right, those were all the questions
That's
we
it.
had.
That's
We got to close this out. We've been
Make
going
sure-
for
Make sure there's nothing else. Did nobody come in?
Oh.
One more.
one sandwich to eat for the rest of your life.
That one we just fucking
That one
had.
we just had. Yeah.
Perfect.
Marshall had the sand dune
The sand dune was probably
on
that
pretzel
was,
bread,
That was it.
and then I had the bear. Hold on. We'll go into depth on what yours had and what mine had,
Yeah,
just so we don't leave people.
I think mine was like a turkey and Swiss.
Turkey and Swiss. That sounds right.
Or maybe it was turkey and Havarti or something like that. It was
Havartio,
really
some
good.
interesting cheese
Yeah, the
that
sand
nobody
dune,
knows.
dude. Village cheese shanty.
Village cheese shanty and Leon.
Y'all did it right. My God, that was. I'm gonna be thinking about those for a while. I'm excited for the next time I come up here to
Bring
get another
bring a
one.
bunch of them to Japan.
Pack 'em all.
So this is my go-to. Usually is the North Shore, and it comes with turkey, bacon, Swiss, lettuce, tomato, cucumber, and herb mayo. It was
Dude,
the #1 sandwich in Michigan for the last 2 years.
That's fire.
Such a good sandwich.
I think I had the bear too, but the
Okay, so
sand dune.
that's the bear is also the other
Yeah.
one I got. So yesterday I got the bear and the North Shore. So the bear comes with ham, salami, lettuce, olive spread, tomato, cheddar, and herb mayo. And then Marshall's was the sand dune.
Yeah, it's turkey, lettuce, Swiss, cucumber, onion, tomato, and herb mayo.
Dude,
it was
that herb mayo.
Dude,
if you gave us a jug of herb mayo, it'd be good.
Dude, I love like sandwiches for sure. Like my go-to, like turkey or tuna. Like tuna. Like ham sandwich is like okay, but I feel like turkey 5.
I like a chicken sandwich.
Dude, yeah, chicken's good too. It's got to be a white meat, I think. Yeah. Personally, in my opinion, like a turkey or tuna, like, God, that's hard. Yeah. But that's a good question to end on.
That was a very good question. That was kind of convenient that we had that question with what we did yesterday.
I know, right? That doesn't work out very well. I guess that's probably why they put that question.
Probably.
But episode 2 of Bass and Bums, the Scales and Tails collab. What
this is like episode 157 maybe.
Jesus, what episode was I on first?
Episode 12.
Wow.
This is episode 155.
Wow. Think about that. That's ridiculous, dude. We've been doing this for way too long.
Dude, well, the last time you were on was a month ago.
Yeah, but the first episode was 12, which is ridiculous.
It may even be more. It may have been 12. Or 7, I mean.
Jesus. That's crazy.
Hold on, let's look real quick.
Only single or double digits. Now we're in the triples. Triple digits.
Marshall was on episode 12. On April 21st, dude, 2022.
What a time.
That is crazy.
What a time. 2022.
Jesus. Alrighty, guys. We're wrapping it up. That was the Bass and Bums, Scales and Tails collab episode. We've got some... I feel like we have some pretty cool stuff planned that like we would like to move forward with the Bass and Bums thing.
Absolutely.
There's like stuff that I want to do with Scales and Tails that just has no alignment with like the swim bait world.
Right.
And like the Bass and Bums stuff, it just aligns way better.
It aligns with the worm world for sure.
Yes, exactly. Perfect. So alrighty. Be sure to keep your eyes out for the Bass and Bum worm dropping coming soon. Marshall's been designing custom worms. We're going to sell open pore molds so you guys can just make them so you don't even have to buy them from us. Alrighty, guys. That will conclude this episode of the podcast you're listening to, whichever one you're listening to. We hope you guys enjoyed, and we will talk to you guys next time. See you guys.
Peace out, dog.
Boom.
Money. Cut.
My computer's like, thank God.
I know.